You are listening to 87.9 WBTM FM in Indianapolis. This is Space Boy. We have Braingasm on the line for you today. Once again, we run Braingasm every single Sunday from 11 to noon right here on 87.9. We also have some other great shows for you during the week. Every Friday, we have Fat Man's Fandango starting at 6. We have the New Potato Caboose every Wednesday starting at 4:30 to 7. From 7 to 8, we then have the only syndicated Grateful Dead hour in the Indianapolis area. And that runs from 7 to 8, followed by the Family Jam afterwards. We have Fire on the Mountain at 6 o'clock every... We have Fire on the Mountain at 6 o'clock every single Tuesday, followed by Jazz Night right here. So you can always tune into that. And we're going to start you guys off with some local jazz music here today. This is going to be the Dixon Rhine Project. A lot of fun, good local musicians playing some jazz for you this early Sunday morning. Oh, and everybody, even if you aren't Christian, happy Easter. And so yeah, here's some of the Dixon Rhine Project. All right. Once again, that was the Dixon Rhine Project. Some local blues and jazz players here. Some of the best jazz players in the city, actually. Absolutely fine, fine music there. So we're going to move now into some news stories and go from there. So I have come across a couple news stories this week that really were interesting to me. The first one being that it looks like a mother cleaning out her. Well, maybe this will work. Give me just a second. Let me try to find my words again. So, it maybe my words will work. So, a mother in Japan was cleaning the room right here and came across a bunch of magic cards. Now, her son's older, has moved away, things like that. She posted a picture of a bunch of them online and went to auction them off. She was for about $9. Very quickly, some of the people looking at the auction noticed that one of the cards was actually a fairly rare card, an expensive one. Before she realized what was going on, and once she realized what was going on before the auction was over, she did pull them and apologized for everybody who bid and all that type of stuff. But with 5 days still left to go, the auction had already reached $5,475, which is a bit of a stretch over the $9 minimum that was originally on the auction. So yeah, she pulled it down, and son got his cards back and collected everything from his room. That way, didn't get anything else sold out from underneath them. Another cool story is there is a pistol shrimp, or a type of shrimp that use a oversized claw to basically snap and create such a forceful snap that it creates a air bubble that shoots out from their claw, stunning or killing their prey. So that's how they go through and hunt and things like that. Well, there's been a new species of pistol shrimp found and named, and it has a bright pink or red claw. So its pistol claw is a bright pink or red. And the guy who discovered it and named it has decided that it should be called Snaphelis pinkfloydia. So yeah, he named it after Pink Floyd because, well, according to let's see here. According to Sammy DeGraves, the one who founded it, he's been listening to Pink Floyd ever since he was 14 years old when The Wall was released. And he figured that it was a perfect opportunity to give a nod to his favorite band. Turns out that this guy's a bit of a rocker. Back in, doesn't say here, but he's already named one species of shrimp called, it was an elephant shrimp, but Elephantiasis jaggeria, after Mick Jagger. So yeah, guy's obviously a big fan of music and rock and roll, and I thought that was kind of cool. Now, the last news story I'm going to talk about today is about another new species that's been discovered. This one lives in caves down in Mexico, and it is a new species of spider. This is called the Califortius cacoretius. It's about the width of a softball. Now, all of its closer cousins are extremely poisonous. But this one is so different that it actually received a brand new genus, too. So not just species, but also genus. But it isn't fatal to humans when they bite. So yeah. Whereas it's the same family as like the Brazilian wandering spider, which has a notoriously deadly bite. I mean, and also it is nowhere near the largest spider in the world. It is a pretty good size, though. The largest leg span is the giant huntsman spider, which lives in Laos, and its legs can grow as large as 1 foot, and it also stands accused of spinning webs out of nightmares and feasting on children's dreams. So those are our news stories for the day. Next thing we're going to do is go with just the tip. That is our weekly life hack. Now, I do want to just say that if you guys have any ideas for just the tip or any news stories you come across during the week you want me to talk about on the radio or just cover on the radio, feel free to shoot me a message or find the unofficial unofficial Braingasm with Spaceboy Facebook page. Like us, share us. We put the YouTube streaming up there every week. Also, I do take a look at that, and if you post something there, I will talk to you about it. So, feel free to share any life hacks or news stories during the course of the week there, or if there's anything in particular, current events going on that you want to be educated on or feel that we should be more educated on. I can always take breaks from our federal government to educate people on what's going on in other parts of the world and things like that. So please feel free to drop a line there and let us know what's going on. Now, our life hack for the day. Unclogging drains without expensive chemicals. So you can always go and buy like Drano or things like that, but this is a life hack I came across earlier this week. I think it's pretty fitting. I actually had someone asking about how to unclog the drains and things like that. So, so here we go. The easiest way to unclog drains without any chemicals would be to go through and you put a half cup of baking soda and then a half cup of vinegar into the drain. Now, if you remember any of your science classes from, elementary school and things like that, you can go through and it's going to create a lot of foam and things like that. You used to do this to create like fake volcanoes and things like that. Well, what you do is you want to just go through and put in, let the foam clear, and then you rinse everything out, and your drain should be unclogged. If it isn't, go ahead and repeat, and that should help quite a bit. So yeah, that's how you can go through and unclog a drain without expensive chemicals and much more environmentally friendly. All right, we're going to go back to a little bit more of the Dixon Rhyme project here. All right, here they come. All right, Indianapolis. So normally this is where we have a guest come in and we talk about art and whatever they're doing with their art at that time and things along those lines. So, unfortunately, the artist that I had met a couple weeks ago that I really like his stuff. I mean, like, fantastic artist. Fairly young, fairly fresh into it. Still very raw. Fortunately, there was some... failed to get back with me after booking his spot today. So, doesn't look like we have a guest today, which is unfortunate. So, we're just going to listen to some more jazz. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be back here before too long. I'll break in with some, educational stuff about our federal government, as well as some local events coming up this coming week you might want to check out. So stay with us and enjoy the Dixon Rhine Project. just a little extra jumping in here to shout out our station ID. Once again, you are listening to 87.9 FM WBTM Indianapolis, The Bottom. And thank you all very much for tuning in to Space Boys Braingasm this morning. Don't forget, we have other fine shows every single week. On Tuesdays, starting at 6, we have Fire on the Mountain from 6 until Jazz Night starts. That is going to be a little bit of a different type of vibe than a lot of the radio shows we have on here. It's a good time. I recommend tuning in, checking it out. Of course, after Fire on the Mountain, we have Jazz and Bourbon for the Souls, which is the local jazz night here at the Mousetrap. On Wednesdays, we have the new Potato Caboose. That is from 4:30 to 7, getting you home every Wednesday. From 7 to 8, we have the nationally syndicated Grateful Dead Hour. We are the only station in Indianapolis to bring you the Grateful Dead Hour every week. And then on Fridays, or after the Grateful Dead Hour, we do then bring you the Family Jam every Wednesday from the Mousetrap. That's just a bunch of local musicians getting together and jamming. If you're a local musician, you can always bring an instrument down and get on the list. We've also got Fat Man's Fandangos every single Friday. That starts at 6, followed by whatever show is at the Mousetrap that night, as well as we do stream every Saturday night as well. So, you can catch us live on the air at 6 o'clock every Friday and Saturday, 6 o'clock every Tuesday, 4:30 every Wednesday, and of course, every single Sunday morning with me. All right, we're going to get you back to the jazz. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Okay, Indianapolis, we've been listening to the Dixon Rhyme Project right here on 87.9. So it turns out my guest is here. He's getting ready to be on the air here. His name's Jeff. We'll be with him in just a moment. Do want to just give you a quick weather update here for your Easter Sunday. Currently it is partially cloudy with a slight chance of rain from about 1 to 11 tonight. There is going to be light rain possible. It's partly cloudy after that and overcast in the overnight. The high today is of 77. So hopefully the rain holds off enough for your guys' Sunday activities. So there's that. Also, a couple things I just want to let you guys know about. While we wait on my guests to get here, we're going to sit down and I'm going to do my little educational segment here. So as we've been going over the federal government and the roles here in the U.S. and things like that, we've done the cabinet post. Now there are several other cabinet level positions. Now these aren't official members of the cabinet, but they do attend cabinet meetings and are considered to be the same level as the cabinet officials themselves. Now, probably the one with the potential with the most power is going to be the White House Chief of Staff. He is traditionally the highest ranking employee of the White House itself. Basically, the Chief of Staff's position is the modern successor to the early role of the President's private secretary. Now, the Chief of Staff is appointed and serves at the pleasure of the President and does not require Senate confirmation. So he's just employed as that. We also then, so some of his roles is he does select the key White House staff and supervises them. He structures the White House staff system. He controls the flow of people into the Oval Office. He manages the flow of information, protects the interests of the President, negotiates with Congress and other members of the executive branch. He advises the President on various other issues as well. It is possible that if the President is a more hands-off president as far as the day-to-day and mundane, minute parts of the government, the Chief of Staff can become an extremely powerful individual. For example, under Richard Nixon's first Chief of Staff, Haldeman, basically Nixon didn't do a lot with the minute parts of the government. He was more personally handling policy matters and things like that. Now, so Nixon's first Chief of Staff basically was a rigid gatekeeper who frequently met with administration officials in place of the President and then reported himself to Nixon, the officials' talking points and things like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of times where, the Chief of Staff actually, in a lot of ways, helps control a lot of what the President himself does. Couple events coming up this week, and then we'll play a little jazz and get into the interview here. This coming Monday, well, as always, we do have Bluegrass Night at the Mousetrap. It's the Bluegrass Jam every Sunday. It starts around 8 or 9. We are going to, tomorrow, down at the Fountain Square Brewery, in their tasting room, there is Cascade Crescendo. It is a $7 cover. Doors are at 6. Show is at 7. Cascade Crescendo is a bluegrass inspired group out of Portland, Oregon. One of their members is actually an Indianapolis native. And then on April 18th, if you guys have toddlers, at the Urban Chalkboard up in Carmel, they have toddlers playing music. So you can sign up for that. The spring session is $91, and that is $13 a class. You can come in and just do one class at a time at $15. You can stay and play after the class for an additional $5. On this coming Wednesday, the 19th, we have Sarah Hobbs. Sarah Hobbs is going to discuss, she's an artist. She is going to discuss her body of work, as well as her first Indianapolis exhibit, which is called Psychological Traces. It's currently at the Cityway Gallery, curated by the Indianapolis Museum of Contemporary Art. And that is going to be at the Alexander at 7 to 8 this coming Wednesday. So that is cool little art stuff going on that you can check out if you'd like. Then this coming Thursday is April 20th. Indie Mojo, The Mousetrap, and 20 Past 4 and more are throwing a big block party. Doors are at 4:30. That is going to be 3 stages chock full of talent. It is $10 pre-sales and I think $15 at the door. So you can always check that out. And it is running from, music starts at 5 and will go all the way till 3 a.m. this coming Thursday. Friday, we have Django Night. It's a Prince tribute band. They will be playing at the Mousetrap. You can get tickets on Ticketfly currently. They are going to be, I believe, $6 in advance, or $5 in advance, $6 the day of show. And then big news, every April since 2007, they have Record Store Day, which is to celebrate the culture and independently owned record stores. So go ahead and check out some of our locally owned and operated record stores this Saturday for Record Day Store. Or Record Store Day, sorry about that. So that should be a good time. So that's the events coming up this week. And so we're going to bring back a little bit more of the Dixon Ryan Project for you. And then we'll be back on the air with some interviewing with Jeff. All right, just a moment here, guys. All right, everybody. Once again, that was the Dixon Rhine Project, and I am your host, Spaceboy. We do have Jeff Lucas in here, the studio, with us today. First off, Jeff, thank you very much for coming in.
You are very welcome.
You're going to have to actually speak into the mic for us to hear you.
Okay.
That's better. All right. So Jeff is a local artist that I recently saw doing some work that I very, very much enjoyed. So let's just start. I don't know much about you, so let's just start with some basic background questions here for you. So I know you are selling art currently. I also know that you do graphic design, like business cards and things like that, and website printing. Now, so which were you doing first? Were you doing art first and moved into graphic design, or were you
art? Art, definitely all my life.
Okay.
So yeah, I would consider myself a born artist, definitely. And yeah, I'm 40 now, and I've never stopped.
Classically trained or self-trained and everything?
A little bit of both. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, I went to a private school, and one of my main teachers there, he was really, he felt it necessary to make sure, that we knew the basics of, like, drafting, or what he called technical drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, he made us get out the T-squares and stuff, in an environment where I'm just assuming at the time, it probably wouldn't have happened in a public school, but I don't really know.
I mean, it's possible. It depends on the public school. I know my high school had drafting as a class when I was there.
But I don't know. I feel educated in a lot of different ways coming from a private school, because it just seemed as though they had, they were more adamant. It was a more intense environment. But the point being, always had an interest in art, and in a sense classically trained in that I learned,
Mm-hmm. So now so what got you to move over to, like, the graphic design side and things like that?
Money.
Hey,
Yeah.
got to pay those bills somehow, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
So now you do. I noticed that most of your stuff tends to be pencil or marker, or I don't know if I don't recall seeing a lot of chalk or that.
No, that's all messy.
So you mainly stick with, like, your marker and ink.
Yeah. I've worked in acrylics. I've done some things in oils, and I feel less free. It's a more time-consuming process, and I express myself differently with markers. It's a lot cheaper. That's a tremendous plus. And detail-wise, I really, pens and whatnot, they allow me to really detail important to me.
Youve got a big piece you brought in here.
Yeah.
Could I see that for a second? Let's let our online viewers actually take a look at this, because we are on YouTube's. So, I don't know if...
Yeah, and that's an example of my style right now. It's all auto drawn in a sense, like auto writing, like, not to hype it up or anything. It's not that super special, but, like, I kind of go into a hypnotic state in a sense when I'm doing, like, the backgrounds.
And things just kind of flow out of it. Like, I noticed on that piece there, because I've been looking at it here for a second. I really like, it looks like you've got an eye and a face down towards the bottom, I guess, left of it.
And that's representative of the details type of stuff that I'm talking about, because If you look closely, it's like a gigantic rabbit, and then you can see stairs and stuff like that down in here. So, there's. I like to make different worlds within worlds. That's always what I'm trying to achieve, but that's just in a content sense.
Okay. So, I guess, so you've obviously been doing art for quite some time. I mean, do you, are there regular places you go to work and vend your wares and things like that?
This is it. Mine is a very unique story. I've been rather disconnected from society for quite some time now. I never really felt confident in taking my art to the world and then, selling it and becoming renowned in that sense. And then selling my pieces individually, I've never liked the idea of it. What I like, what I fancy, is the idea of collecting a large volume of work, and then in a sense it becomes a larger work, and then people would come and view it, like a wonder of nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, that's the way I would like to do it, but is that the way that the world works? Not necessarily.
I understand completely. So yeah, give me just. We're going to be right back, guys. We're going to listen to a little bit more jazz, and then we'll come back with a little bit more of the interview here. So bear with us just a moment, and we'll be back with some more Jeff Lucas talking about some more art stuff. Till then, here's the Dixon Ryan Project. All right, folks, we are starting to run a little short on time here, so we're taking the music out, and we're going to come back here to Mr. Jeff Lucas here in his art. This is, for those of us on the YouTube stream, this here is one that he just recently worked on or completed. Some of it is very Susie-esque, I think. Other parts of it, I'm just a big fan of his style and his work here. So you had mentioned something about there's a cat in that picture.
Right.
So you've mentioned that the cat's been coming out in a lot of your pictures recently?
Yeah, it's become a reoccurring theme in at least 2 or 3, which is exciting for me because it's like a subconscious manifestation, you know, that I didn't intend, you know, to put in the picture. Yeah. And that's a super exciting part of making art for me is to see what comes out of the shapes and the lines. And sometimes, you know, reoccurring themes appear, and the cat has been one, and I like cats, which is, you know, so that works out. But yeah.
Okay. So when's the next time you plan to set up and vend any of your art?
Well, I was recently told about an art night here at the Mousetrap
on Wednesdays?
On Wednesday night, and I thought maybe possible.
Yeah.
They had invited me out, so, you know, probably come out and show stuff then. I am trying to find a gallery that I can do something, you know, that I can have a show. And if I do a show, you'll know it because, you know, I'll make flyers, you know.
Yeah, that whole graphic design thing, right?
Oh, right. Hyping it up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, excellent. Well, Jeff, thank you very much for coming onto the show again. Once everybody, this is Jeff Lucas. Where is there any place online that people can go to scope out your work, or
effectively no?
Okay. Well, if
there will be.
When he gets something like that up, I'll make sure to post it up on the Braingasm page so that all of you can check out his work there. We're going to put on a little bit more of the Dixon Rhine to close out the program here. I'll be back on to sign us off and move along. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful day. All right, Indianapolis, thank you so much once again for tuning in to 87.9 WBTM FM, Indianapolis, the bottom. I am your host, Spaceboy. You've been listening to Spaceboy's Braingasm. Once again, just a quick shout out to the rest of the shows that we do have coming up here on our programming. We have Fire on the Mountain at 6 o'clock every Tuesday night. That's followed by Jazz Night, Jazz and Bourbon for the Soul. We are then going to have the New Potato Caboose every Wednesday from 4:30 to 7. We do host the nationally syndicated Grateful Dead Hour from 7 to 8. We are the only station in Indianapolis to do so. And then after that, we do have the Family Jam broadcast live from the Mousetrap. And on Fridays, we have Fat Man's Fandango every 6. That's with your host, Pompa Stompa. It runs from 6 until, I guess, he gets tired of playing music and the band comes on that night. We'll then stream the live show from the Mousetrap every Friday and Saturday night. And we have music starting around 6 both of those nights. Once again, you can catch Spaceboy's Braingasm every single Sunday from 11 to noon. I am your host, Spaceboy, and I am signing off for 87.9 WBTM, The Bottom.